Welcome! Welcome to FeralCon. I hope you're having a great con so far. I know we just watched the opening ceremonies. That's super exciting. Anyway, I am here bringing you the very first panel that I've ever done. So apologies if I have some technical difficulties. I will do my best. Anyway, I've recorded this several times, so I hope I get it right, like the 10th time. I have this nice tapestry up in the background and everything, trying to be professional. Anyway, my name is Nighty. I'm also known by the alias Paper Wings online, and that's how I run my freelance art. So, as part of that, I have to use photo references a lot because sometimes people ask me to draw things I've never drawn before. Like, I have my lovely friend Zarok who has a dragon character that's like a Komodo dragon, and so I went to the zoo and I took tons of photos of Komodo dragons and I was looking at them and I was trying to understand how they work so that I can draw it better. So using photo references is just part of the experience of being an artist, and it's not bad or wrong to use photos. Some people think that you have to conjure up everything in your head and you can't like cheat by using a photo, and it's a really easy way to, I guess, put too much pressure on yourself. You can't know everything about every animal. You can't memorize like how the elbow is on like a one kind of lizard that looks completely different than the elbow on another kind of lizard. Or how are you going to remember that the markings of a bunch of different animals? Or anyway, don't put so much pressure on yourself. It's okay to use photo references, and I will show you how to do it without plagiarizing. Because if you trace photos, then that's considered a no-no. You shouldn't trace photos because then it's basically directly taking someone's photo that they've made and using it to your own benefit, especially if you're selling it for profit. So, I'll show you how to use photo references without plagiarizing so you won't get in trouble. But in the case of my photos, which I will provide a purchase link to, I've taken photos myself, and you are welcome to trace those, and you are welcome to use those for whatever purposes you want, whether that's as long as you're not selling the photos themselves. But you can totally trace over the photo and you can make a painting or whatever and you can sell it, and that's totally cool. So, anyway, I'm here to teach you how to use photos. We're going to be drawing a wolf today. Um, I went to the zoo, which is the Woodland Park Zoo here in Seattle, and they have a bunch of Arctic wolves. And they're kind of hard to photograph, but over the many times I've been to the zoo, I managed to get a few that I like. So that's what we're going to be working with today. Now I will switch over to that. Oh no, there it is. Okay. Now, let's looky. Here we are. Here's my photos. I'm just going to open it. So here's an example of one of the photos I took at the zoo. I have a zoom lens, so I'm able to take an up-close photo even if they're far away. They get kind of annoyed by all the kids howling at them all the time, so they're far away. But anyway, when you're using my photos, or anyone else's photos really, one thing that really helps is to go over the photo and pretend like you're just drawing out the basics of it. Like, for example, here's a muscle up here, and then a joint here, and then a joint here, and a joint here. And this builds kind of a muscle memory of what goes where and at what proportion. So that's useful. So in my case, I'm just using this to kind of warm up. But especially with fluffy animals, it can be hard to tell. Thankfully, these wolves are kind of skinny, so it's easier to see. So this is just to kind of rough thing here. You can't see the other leg very well. Let's see another example from the other side. You can't really see this joint right here at this angle, but I know it's there. So that's just my own knowledge from looking at, skeleton or whatever. Get the ribbies. And then another joint here. I feel like this goes on so long. They have such long leggies. Anyway, that gives you kind of a feel of it. And you guys are welcome to do that with my photos. I am totally okay with that. Alright, so we're going to try to draw a wolf that's largely in profile view. I'm going to be using this as a reference. So this is a good way to show just kind of the base anatomy of the wolf. So I'm just going to flip this image just so it's consistent so I can see both of them. And then I think in this photo example, I'm going to have the wolf facing forward. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this section of this. I'm going to use maybe this section of this. And then this section of this. And I'll show you what I mean. So rather than taking all elements off of one set of photos, I'm going to be taking some elements from different places. So I'm going to start with the head. I always start with the head when I'm drawing myself. Oh, I also forgot to say, I'm going to be pre-recording this, so I will be able to add closed captions because I'm very about accessibility. I like to use closed captions when I'm watching things, and you know, people who are deaf or hard of hearing really appreciate closed captions, so I try to think of that. And it also lets me, try again if I make a mistake or go overtime or something. So there's that. But it means that because it's pre-recorded, I will be in the comments section and I will be able to help you guys. If you have any questions, I'll be able to answer it. I'll have the tongue out, I suppose, so that we can show that. Okay, so I have the head. Oh, come on, tablet. This is not the time to be spinning. Okay, there it goes. Phew. Way to scare me. Alright, so we're going to take one more element from this picture. We're going to take how the head turns because this wolf is kind of mostly in profile. So I'm going to take this little neck part to kind of transition into the side. And then we have this photo. And we should be able to seamlessly transition here. We have this. And it might help to do this just so you can see. And notice I'm not tracing it. I'm just looking at it and using it as an example. And I'm doing my best. Oh my God. Tableau, why? Okay. Okay. Now that I saved it, hopefully it won't interrupt me so much. I have my setting on Clip Studio to automatically save because I forget a lot. But it's really interrupting me right now. Okay, so we have this. I love this cheeky little leg raise. I think that's adorable. And then we have the belly. And then it looks like on our example there's like a little bump right here. So I'm going to try to copy that. A little bump like this that goes into the booty. And then the long leggy. Long leggy. Oh my God, tablet, please. Is there a way I can turn this off? Where is it? Okay, let's do that. It's driving me crazy. Turn off canvas recovery for a minute. Okay, so now we have that. I don't really like how the leg is going back in this photo, so I'm going to look at a different one. Oh, that one's going back and that one too. Let's try. Is there any where they're not? Well, like this one isn't. So let's use this. I like how the leg's going forward in this example. Ooh, and I like this. I like how this flap of skin is connected right here. This flap. So I'm going to do that because that looks cool. Okay, there's that. And some fluffies. And then this other leg is a little bit raised. I think that's cute. So we have one leg raised on each side. And another reason why photo references are nice is sometimes you don't think about things until you see them. Like in this example, there's this line right here. It's around the tendon. And that, I don't draw it very much. But because I see it, it reminds me, oh yeah, I should probably draw that part. Just a little line. All right, and then the tail. I want the tail to be a little raised. So where's a good example? Yeah, like this. Here, this tail isn't directly against the body. I like that better, so we can see it for this reference. And it looks like it goes down right to this. So that looks right. Okay, we have a wolfy friend that's starting to come together. Now I'm just going to enlarge it a little bit. And now that we have this, I can make some artistic decisions if I like. I don't have to, you don't have to copy the photo exactly. Like in this example, the cheeks on this wolf are kind of thin because it was in the summer. But I love fluffy wolves, so I'm going to make the cheeks bigger. Oh, maybe a little too much. Let's try like this. Maybe if I do like a line right here. There we go. There, I like that fluffier cheeks. I think it's cute. And what else? Oh, I also didn't draw the lip going down here. I think it looks kind of weird, so I just left it out. It's okay to make changes. The photos are there for helping you, but you're not shackled to them. That's the nice thing about it, where you can bring in your own creativity. You don't have to feel confined to the photos, but the photos are there to help. Help you with certain details, help you with proportions. Oops, help you with ideas. Like I think having this leg raised looks adorable. Like a kind of shy pose. And I want to make this a little fluffier. Okay, so now that we have this basic wolf down, I'm going to start line arting it. Now, I usually draw it with a red like this because it's easier for me to see, but I avoid using black so that I know which parts my line are. Look at this cutie. I'm already liking this so much better. My first attempt didn't come out so hot, and I really debated about it for a long time whether I should try again, and I'm glad I did because I'm much happier with this already, and I haven't even finished lining it. Oh, this is another personal artistic choice. I know there's so much black around the eyes, and if I were to really copy it, it would something be like that, and all this is black. But I personally just like it more when there's more whites of the eye. It's more cartoony. That's just my personal taste. And then it's always a good idea to kind of flip things around. Oh no, like this, the face looks a little wonky, so I'm gonna fix it. Sometimes just flipping things helps you see if you did something weird. This tells me that this eye is way too low, so let's fix that. There's a lovely thing about digital art is that you can move things around and you can turn them and you can resize them, and it's so nice. There, fixed it. And you don't have to redraw it, you can just scoot it with the transform tool. Saves so much time. If I were drawing with pencil, I'd have to erase that and try again. And I can't flip the image either. I'd have to go grab a mirror, literally. Isn't this so much easier? I have a lot of respect for people that do paintings and stuff like that because it's so hard to get everything just right with no digital tools. Well, maybe not. I was thinking about adding, like, maybe that's okay. Adding the orbital little poofy part above the eye. That looks okay. This wolf has big ears. If I were drawing this myself, like not using a reference, I would have made the ears smaller. I'm surprised that this wolf has such big honking ears. Maybe it just looks bigger because it's summer coat. It's not covered by so much fluffs. I'm going to flip this again just to be sure it looks good. Maybe I made the eye a little too big. I can't tell if it's the under sketch throwing me off, so let's cover that for a second. Okay, it looks a little too big, so let's just lower the eyelid a little. Ah, that's better. Okay. Fluffies. God, I love neck fluff. I always over accentuate it because I love it so much. Now we get to the cheeky raised leggy. And let's see. I just felt like doing the foot next. There's no real reason to it. Now this one, you can't really see the foot very well, so I'm just kind of going from memory here for this specific part. But we can see that this like wrist area is really long. You know, there's a little bump right here. Since my autosave is turned off, I'm going to manually save. Be sure to save your work often. Oh, something I forgot to talk about. Where do you get your photo references? Now, I personally use Google most of the time. Definitely most of the time. And when you do that, as long as you're not tracing it, and as long as you're not one-to-one copying it, you don't have to give credit. So you can safely go look at Google or go look at other search engines or Flickr or Pinterest, and you can use those as references. Now, if you want something that you can actually trace, or you can do a more one-to-one project on, like, for example, drawing a grid over the top and copying the grid, then you want to get permission from the photographer. So you have permission from me if you want to use my photos. Oh god, I drew the foot way too small. What am I doing? But you'll need to contact the photographer specifically if that's what you want to do. It's just a basic courtesy. They've worked hard getting their photos, and they deserve the proper credit. Photographers are artists too. And if you are a photographer, be sure to specify what is and isn't okay to do with your photos. Some people are okay with their work being used for photo manips or being used for references, and some aren't. So be sure to let people know what is and isn't okay. You can do that pretty easily on Flickr. His foot still looks tiny. Let me just grab it. For example, by putting a license on it, like a Creative Commons license or something similar. And you can also search by those. So if you're looking for work that has certain rules allowed, and then you can search by that on Flickr. I don't know much about other sites because I'm not very well experienced with something like photo manips, where you would have to use the actual photos more. Sorry, one second. But in general, it's a safe bet to just take inspiration from photos and use them as examples, especially when you're combining multiple in one. Like in this drawing right now, this isn't a copy of any of these photos. It's taking parts of it. Like it's taking the head of this one and maybe then the tail of this one and the body of this one. So it's not a copy of any of these photos in particular. And you can do that with pretty much any photos because you're not actually copying the image. You're just taking inspiration from it. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that on Google or Flickr or wherever. Instagram. So I like to save a bunch of inspiring images, and then I can look back at them later and I might use it as a reference. Like maybe I find a photo with super cool lighting and I think, wow, I want to do that lighting in a picture. Then I can use that. Or it could even be art someone's drawn. Like, whoa, I love how someone drew the eyes in this picture. And you use that element of it, but not the whole thing, just the eyes. So you can kind of Frankenstein your own thing using elements of other things that you like, whether that's photos or drawings or paintings or movies even. I know a lot of people that started out drawing like Balto style and then adapted it to become their own thing by adding other elements. So it's totally okay to start somewhere. And a lot of people do this. A lot of people start somewhere by totally copying it, like they totally copied Balto's style, and then over time, it becomes their own thing. I think that's a really common growth for a lot of artists. And as long as you're not doing that about an individual person, like if you copy an individual person's style one to one, they might be a little cross with you. So I think to avoid making people too upset with you, it's better to stick to combining features as much as possible. Then you're not copying, then you're making your own thing. If I had to compare it to cooking, right? Maybe you start with a reference of a recipe you love, but you change the seasoning a little bit. And even just changing the seasoning can make a big difference in the end thing. Make it your own. There's so many ways to combine things. There's so many ways to draw things. Your art style might be totally different than mine. Your art style might be similar to mine, but it's still yours. I think that's so cool. There's endless ways to combine things. And now we're almost done with this. We just really need the back and the back legs. I definitely wouldn't have drawn this bump right here if it wasn't for the photos. I would have probably done like a straight curve. But it's only because of the photos that I thought to do that. And I've drawn wolves a lot. Hundreds and hundreds of hours drawing wolves. Thousands probably. And I still wouldn't have thought to do that. So I'm always learning from photos. Even if it's something you're really familiar with, I recommend having photos so you can look at it and learn new things. I mean, I'm personally always watching like a nature documentary on the side while I'm drawing, and I'm learning new stuff about animals. Right now I'm studying hyenas because I'm working on a comic with hyenas in it. And there's so much stuff to learn. So just come at the photos with an open mind. But it's okay to change things how you like. After all, this is your art. You can make it however you want. You want the wolf to have a big honking snooter? You do that. You want the wolf to have tiny Cinderella feet? You do that. That's yours. But starting from a photo is never a bad idea. Even if you're a toony style, there's always stuff to learn and there's always inspiration to get. Oh, and I should say, don't be discouraged. I'm drawing this really fast because I'm really used to drawing wolves and it's a very familiar subject for me. But please don't be concerned if it takes you a while and you have to make a lot of revisions, especially if it's something you're less familiar with. Like, if someone asked me to draw a giraffe, I could happily do it, but it would probably take me at least twice as long as drawing a wolf just because I'm less used to it. So I'd have to make more alterations, I'd have to do a little more research, Like, for example, on that section with the foot where I just knew how it looked, with a giraffe, I might not know, and I have to go find photos of a foot. It takes more time. It's okay for things to take time. I'm a very impatient kind of person, so I should follow my own advice. I want my art to get done really fast. But it's okay for things to take time. It's okay to even work on it for a little bit, get stuck on a part, take a break, come back to it, maybe even the next day. Work on it some more, take a break, come back to it the next day. It doesn't have to all come to you right away. I'm not dwelling too long on the details because I don't want this panel to take a million years. But if I were trying to draw this like photorealism, oh man, I would be spending so much time. Like one time, I drew Wolf Link from Zelda, and I was trying to make it look as close as possible to the game. I think I spent like 30 hours on it. That wouldn't make for a very exciting panel. It'd be so slow. Be me drawing things and erasing it, and drawing things and erasing it. So don't be discouraged that I'm doing this quickly. I just don't want to take away your con time. But if you want to see me draw at normal speed, I stream very frequently at picardo.tv/paperwings. I stream basically every single weekday, Monday through Friday. And you'll see a lot of examples of me taking my time. All right, so now we have the lines. I'm going to hide the sketch layer and just look over it. It looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like the ears are a little high. So let me just look at that photo again. I think it's just because I added so much fluff that the ears should be a little lower into the fluff. So let me fix that. That seems better to me. Maybe if I add more fluff on the side. I don't know how I feel about it. Let me go back. Oh. I ran out of undos. I forgot I changed it to only 20 undos. I could pull it up a little more. Okay, maybe this is fine. But I like the fluff, so I'm going to do that on the other side. There, that looks good. Our wolf is so cute. I'm just looking over in general, making sure I didn't make the head too huge. Sometimes I draw the head a little big. It does look a tad big, so I might shrink it a little. Maybe it's fine. I can't tell. Just like a teeny bit shrunk. That looks good. Okay. It just needed a teeny amount. And now I will just take my fancy dancy, what's it called? Magic wand. Select the white background. Then go to select, invert, and then put a layer underneath. And I'll just make it like a gray. Just go boop. Bam. Colored. And then maybe we'll add eyes in there just to make it less creepy so it's not just blank eyes. Oops, those don't match. Let's try again. Where do I want the wolf to look? To the side? At the person? At the viewer? That looks good. Not quite at the viewer, but just a little off. And then we'll just give our wolf yellow eyes for the moment. And then I like to add just a little bit of shadow over the eye. Like that. And then a white highlight. Oh, and then of course, this is just something I always do. I like putting a white shine on the nose to make the nose look white. There, that looks pretty good. Let's see how much time we have. So we're at 49 minutes. So I'm just going to clean up this real quick, and then I'll do a short Q&A at the end. All right. Let's close these so we can get a full view of our wolf that we made. Here we go. Here is our wolf that we drew using photo references. And I'm pretty proud of this, actually, for considering that I had to draw it so fast. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't feel like I made major anatomical errors. I'm sure there's some things that I drew wrong, but I hope that this will be helpful to you. This will be available on my shop, and it will be free for all FeralCon attendees to download. You can use the download code, coupon code, FeralCon 2020. You can download this for free. You can color it as your own character, or you can even use it for the next panel, which will be about natural character design, and you can follow along. I'm going to go back to my webcam and do a little short Q&A. Hooray, we did it! That went surprisingly well. I'm surprised I didn't have more technical difficulties other than my tablet constantly trying to stop me in the middle of drawing. Like, settle down. So, gosh, where do I start? Let's talk a bit about me, I guess. I am Nighty. I have been in the fandom for a long time. I think I've been in it since like 2007 or 8. I wasn't really like officially in the fandom for a while. I was on DeviantArt, and I didn't even have like a persona, but I talked to a lot of people that had personas, and I drew their personas. So I was kind of like soft in the fandom back in that. I didn't really know what furries were. I just happened to be friends with people that like animals, and it just wound up that I ended up in the fandom. So that's how that went. But anyway, I've been doing commissions since 2010. So that's a whole 10 years ago now. And I've been doing freelancing. In other words, I've been doing full-time art for a few years now. So I've been really practicing hard, and I wanted to help kind of share the knowledge that I've accumulated from doing that to help other people. I know there's a lot of people that are interested in freelancing, especially right now in this COVID-19 world where people are losing their jobs and, looking for anything to do. Maybe this is the chance to try out being an artist, and if I can help anybody achieve that dream, I would be happy to. So if you have any questions aimed at me specifically and I can help you, my Telegram is Paper Wings, and I'll put that in text. And, gosh, what else? Oh, I should talk about my hardware. So this right here that I've been drawing on is called a Surface Pro, and I have it all decorated and stuff. I love this thing. Microsoft Surface is, in my opinion, one of the best entry-level, like, drawing on-screen tablets that you can get. I can't afford a Cintiq. I can't afford the Microsoft Surface Studio, which is basically a big screen. So this is what I can do. The first one I got was about $400. It's a lot, but it's so nice. I would take it with me to class, and I would write notes on it. I would take it with me on the bus, and I would draw on the bus. And I love being able to just draw directly on it, and you can erase with the pen. And since it's its own computer, it's not a tablet interface. Like, you can put it on a tablet interface, I guess, if you really want to. But it uses the exact same programs as my computer. So I have Clip Studio Paint is what I use. I have Clip Studio Paint on here, and I have Clip Studio Paint on my main computer, and it's exactly the same. It's not like a tablet version of Clip Studio Paint. It's the computer version of Clip Studio Paint. So I think that's really nice. I love being able to plug in my keyboard, and I can use it like a laptop if I'm at a con, and I can take it with me anywhere I go, because it doesn't have to be plugged into my computer to have the screen. So that's one disadvantage of something like a Cintiq, is that you can only use it at your desk. It doesn't work as a separate thing. So if you're someone that likes to travel a lot, or you're moving around a lot, like you're taking it with you to work, I highly recommend something like this. Um, some people like to use iPads. iPads are kind of a similar idea where you can draw directly on it and you can take it with you anywhere. But because it's a iPad, it's expensive, and you have to use the iPad versions of apps. So Clip Studio Paint, in this specific example, you have to buy a subscription for the iPad, where with the computer version, you just buy it once and you own it forever. So I personally like just buying something once and being done with it. I don't want to pay for it every single month. I think that's horrible. So that's just my opinion. Some people love the iPad and they love to use Procreate, and they love that. And I know some artists that are so successful with that. So it really depends on your personal comfort level, whether you like Windows, whether you like Mac, and what you can afford. And I hope you find something that works perfectly for you. Gosh, what else did I talk about? Oh, here's some very general artist tips. Be sure to get up at least every hour and a half. I have a timer set that I have to get up every hour and a half and get up and move around, because sitting for so long is bad for your health. So it's good to get up, stretch, you know, stretch your wrist, oh, and I'm wearing a wrist brace. Do some wrist exercises like, you know, pull back, pull forward, pull your fingers, put your hands together, interlace your fingers and pull. Those kinds of exercises are really good for you. So I highly recommend getting up every hour and a half, getting up to stretch, staying hydrated, eating well, getting a good sleep schedule, and those will all contribute to you making art effectively. And be sure not to overwork yourself, please. I know it's so tempting sometimes when you get so engrossed in something that you're so passionate about that you just want to do it nonstop. But if you're thinking seriously about doing art full time, then you really have to pace yourself. You can't just work 15-hour days and expect to do that forever. So I personally work 6 hours a day. And it doesn't sound like very much, but I am wiped out at the end of the day because it uses so much brain power and for me to draw that I'm just exhausted at the end of 6 hours. I don't think I could do it. Some people can. Some people can do 8 hours plus drawing every day, but I think my wrist would fall off and die. So everybody's different. I don't know what else to talk about, but I will be in the comment section and I will be there to answer your questions. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer. Please come check out my store. I have some digital products on there that you can color, and I have my photos that I've used for this panel. I have those available on there too. You can purchase and download, and my store is paperwings.store. I know, convenient, right? It feels so good to have a professional URL. What else? If you would like to follow me on my social medias, I have a Twitter. That's twitter.com/nightybird. I have an FA. That's paper-wings. And I have Ink Bunny. And I have Weasel. And I have Telegram. So I should be very easy to contact if you need any help with anything, or if you just want to say hi. I want to say thank you so much for coming to my panel. I hope you learned a lot. And may you have all the luck. May you stay safe. And may you stay healthy. Thanks so much for watching.